How yesterday's storms are impacting area campgrounds ahead of Memorial Day weekend. Area auto shops see a spike in business after several cars were damaged in floodwaters.
President Biden rolls out his $6 trillion plans for the 2022 fiscal year. I'm Skyler Henry at the White House as Republicans are already poking holes in the spending proposals.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Ottawa County, Oklahoma authorities arrest 2 inmates who escaped from the Cherokee County, Kansas jail. This is KOAM News at 5. The suspects, Mark Hopkins and Michael Hartzloff, escaped Monday night through a plumbing area in the jail. The suspects, who authorities say were armed at the time of arrest, now face additional charges of aggravated escape from custody. A woman also was arrested following a search warrant yesterday morning for her alleged role in the escape. Much drier and much sunnier looking today. Doug Heddy joining us.
Yeah, it's actually turned out to be a pretty good day for us today. Kind of cool, and especially with the winds, it makes it feel kind of cool as we head into, of course, Memorial Weekend. We should be into the 80s, and we are not. We do have some clouds which have been rotating through, so partly cloudy skies, but in general, we don't have to worry about the heavy amounts of rain like we have seen over the past couple days. But look at our temps. Most of us, it's 60 in Nevada, 69 on the other end at Grand Lake. So most of us are sitting low to mid to upper 60s, and we have this kind of northerly wind ushering in a little bit cooler air, so it's going to be chilly for us as we go through the evening hours tonight. We'll drop back through the 60s, 50s, all the way down into the mid 40s for overnight lows. So staying kind of chilly. We do have some more thunderstorms in the forecast. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
All right, Doug, thank you. Well, campgrounds are getting ready for what could be a busy Memorial Day weekend. This weekend is the opening weekend for many campgrounds, so it's usually the busiest. Big Elk Floats and camping in Pineville has been fully booked for more than a month, and then the heavy rain came in. Several of their campsites were still flooded this afternoon, and the river is flowing faster than they'd normally want to see.
The main deal that will decipher the floating is we have a trestle bridge down there, and if it's blocked up and you can't get through, we definitely can't float. But I'm just hoping it goes down, really.
And tonight at 6, we'll hear more about the impact yesterday's rain is having and why some campers are still getting out there. And after Thursday's heavy rain and flooding, some vehicle owners are dealing with storm damages. One Joplin auto shop says they were extra busy yesterday. Nixon's Garage in Joplin usually tows on average 1 vehicle every 2 hours. Yesterday, they towed 8 within 6 hours. Now they say they're mainly dealing with damage the flooding caused to engines.
If the water gets up into the air cleaner housing, it's just like you and I. Cars breathe air; they don't breathe water, just like we don't breathe water. So once the water gets up inside the engine, it'll cause them to stall, and it can cause severe damage.
Experts say when water is ingested through a vehicle's air filters, it can cause severe damage to the engine. They recommend drivers be cautious when driving in flooded areas in the future to prevent this. The bill to create a 9/11 style commission to investigate the causes of the January 6th assault on the U.S. Capitol failed in the Senate. Republicans used the filibuster to block a vote on the commission. GOP leaders say the commission is not necessary because Senate committees and the Department of Justice are already conducting investigations. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer could bring the bill back to the floor at a later date. President Biden released his first budget today. The 2022 fiscal year has a multi-trillion-dollar price tag. White House officials project the plan will start to reduce deficits in a decade, but congressional Republicans are already criticizing the Biden administration's proposed spending. Reporter Skyler Henry is at the White House with the details.
President Biden's American Jobs and Families plans are at the forefront of his newly released $6 trillion budget.
The budget does exactly what the president told the country that he would do: grow the economy, create jobs.
The infrastructure proposals already call for a combined $4 trillion investment in core projects like roads and bridges and so-called human infrastructure such as free preschool and community college. The president has also proposed a $14 billion increase to fight climate change and nearly $9 billion to the CDC to prevent the next public health crisis.
There's sunlight at the end of the tunnel. There's real light.
Other investments include medical research, Title I schools, and combating gun violence and the opioid epidemic. President Biden's budget doubles down on his proposed tax hike on corporations and the wealthiest Americans to pay for his economic vision. But congressional Republicans have said raising taxes is a non-starter. GOP Senator Rand Paul railed against the Biden administration's planned spending on the Senate floor Friday.
We're going to do a couple trillion more for free college, free daycare, free this, free that. But it's not free. There's no such thing as a free lunch.
The American people gave us a Democratic Senate to produce big and bold change.
Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says the Senate will move forward this summer with the president's infrastructure proposals with or without Republican support. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
The CBS News has learned that top White House aides are meeting with staff from GOP senators today to discuss the Republicans' latest infrastructure counterproposal. President Biden has said he wants to finish up a deal soon. The Palestinian Health Ministry says Israeli soldiers today shot and killed a Palestinian during clashes in the occupied West Bank. A few hundred Palestinians had gathered in the northern West Bank to protest Israeli settlements. Witnesses say some in the crowd threw rocks at soldiers and burned tires. Israeli soldiers opened fire, killing one man. Tensions have remained high in the region despite a ceasefire reached last week between Israel and the Palestinian militant group Hamas in Gaza. Well, coming up in Health Watch, staying safe from the sun this weekend.
The Friday before Memorial Day is Don't Fry Day. I'm Elise Preston with what you need to know to prevent skin cancer.
And later, a new type of wind turbine hopes to revolutionize how we power our homes. Well, good news for campers and staffers this summer. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says those attending or working at summer camps who are fully vaccinated won't need to wear masks. Now, right now, children ages 12 and over can get Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. CDC has previously said people who are fully vaccinated do not need to routinely test for COVID-19 unless they are experiencing symptoms. A study of over 1,500 college athletes who had coronavirus finds about 2% developed myocarditis, which is inflammation of the heart. Researchers say most were asymptomatic, and myocarditis was only detected through an MRI. Now, myocarditis is closely associated with COVID-19 and is the leading cause of death in competitive athletes. The Friday before Memorial Day is designated as Don't Fry Day. The goal is to raise awareness about sun safety because skin cancer is the most common cancer in the U.S. and cases are increasing. Reporter Elise Preston has more on what you need to know to protect yourself and your family.
Warmer temperatures mean more time outdoors, but fun in the sun also means protecting ourselves from those harmful rays to prevent skin cancer.
I burn super easily.
How easily?
If I don't have sunscreen on, I will burn if it's a sunny day.
And every sunburn counts, according to former Surgeon General Dr. Boris Lushniak with the National Council on Skin Cancer Prevention.
When you have a bunch of these sunburns or a bunch of even tanning of the skin, what you have is this cumulative effect that damages those cells to the point where they can start changing. And when they start changing, they can develop cancers.
Protective clothing like lightweight long-sleeve shirts and pants can protect your skin. So can sunglasses. Choose a sunscreen with broad-spectrum protection, an SPF of 30 or higher, and water resistance. Apply about 15 minutes before heading outdoors and reapply about every 2 hours, or after swimming or if you're sweating.
The other part of sunscreens is to use enough for adults. A shot glass size of sunscreen covers your whole body.
The sun's rays are the strongest between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. So if you can try to stay in the shade between those peak times, it's a good idea.
We spray them with spray and then we have the stuff for the face.
Jeff Ruskup is teaching his kids healthy sun habits now.
It's the only skin you have and you have to take care of it because you're going to have it your whole life.
And he hopes they take these lessons with them as they get older. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Now, skin cancer is very treatable when caught early. If you notice any changes in your skin, see a dermatologist. A new study links acetaminophen use during pregnancy to symptoms of ADHD and autism. Researchers tracked nearly 74,000 children in Europe and found if their mothers took acetaminophen during pregnancy, they were about 20% more likely to develop ADHD and autism symptoms compared to children whose mothers did not take acetaminophen. Researchers say adults who have obsessive-compulsive disorder are more than 3 times more likely to have a stroke later in life compared to adults who do not have OCD. The study published by the American Stroke Association found people with OCD tend to be obese, diabetic, and have high blood pressure. And that's a look at today's health news. A little later, Microsoft says Russian hackers have struck again, targeting more than 150 agencies.
And we're getting a chance to dry out just a bit, a little bit on the chilly side. We're going to look at the holiday weekend coming up. Well, at least we got a chance to dry out a bit for us today. Temperature is kind of chilly, but at least we are dry after all the rain that we saw over the past day and a half or so. None since midnight, but for the month, we're already at 7.15 inches of rain. So very wet May, even though we haven't had a ton of severe weather. For the year, over 23 inches, average is 18. So we're above average by over 5 inches. Of course, a big chunk of that came yesterday with the heavy showers and thunderstorms across the region. Look at the temps. It's only 60 in Nevada, 61 Fort Scott, 61 in Iola. You have upper 60s once you get into our southern counties, but chilly for this time of the year, plus the winds kind of make it feel a little bit cooler than what it actually is. We have these north winds at about 10 to 15, so it makes it feel kind of cool, and it's going to be chilly for us tonight. Looking off toward the north and to the west. 7th and range line 63, north winds at 12, humidity at 63%. Pressure has been dropping throughout the afternoon. And through the evening hours, we're going to slide back through the 60s, 50s, mid 40s, which is very chilly for this time of the year. But at least we are dry. We have some cumulus clouds which have been shooting through over the past couple hours, but really nothing going on across the entire Central Plains. Here's our storm system that gave us the severe weather yesterday and then kind of curls back into parts of Texas. But we look pretty good over the next couple days, and then our next storm system will start to brew out to the west and start to affect us late Sunday, and then mainly as we head into Monday of next week. We'll start to get some showers, some thunderstorms in here late Sunday. This is a fairly weak wave. It's not going to have a lot of upper level dynamics, but it will give us showers. It will give us thunderstorms. So we're looking at Monday going into Tuesday. We're going to continue with showers and thunderstorms sticking around, and then even into Wednesday. And then I think most of this will start to exit by the time we head into Thursday. So that is good news. Now, unfortunately, well, that's not the graphic I wanted, but unfortunately, it's going to be kind of chilly as we go through the week and everybody gets outside. Of course, the unofficial start of summer. If you're heading to, let's say, the Elk River or to the lake or getting into the pool or whatever, it's going to be kind of chilly. We're dropping back into the mid 40s for us tonight. All right, heading into Saturday, a little bit better than what we did see today, but still kind of cool. We're going to have partly cloudy skies. We're going to start at 45, 64 by noon, high temp right around 68. Still the north wind, not very breezy, at about 5 to 10. Even tomorrow night, I think we'll drop back upper 40s for overnight lows. Now on Sunday, a little bit warmer. We should go into lower 70s, but we'll start to see some showers sneaking in by late Sunday, especially Sunday night, and then heading into Monday. But the bulk of the weekend looks pretty good. All right, 68 tomorrow, 72 on Sunday. Again, most of Sunday is going to be dry. Pretty good chances for showers and thunderstorms Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Temperatures into the 70s. We finally get back into the 80s by late next week, but for Memorial Weekend, because everybody likes to get outside, it's kind of cool.
It is. It makes it good weather for barbecuing, though. You know, you could start at any time. And I mean, with these temperatures in the weather, it's a little unusual. It always seems like it rains on weekends and it's nice during the week, but it's a little backwards this time.
It is our rainy season, though.
That is true. Doug, thank you so much. The Spring Carnival, there it is. It's back at Joblin's North Park Mall. Now, the free event features all the classic carnival attractions, rides, games, and food. It's free admission, but you have to pay for the rides and games. And the fun begins at 6 and runs until 10 o'clock tonight. The carnival will remain in town until next Sunday, June the 6th. Well, coming up, we're going to check out a new wind turbine design. But first, we honor a local veteran. Samuel Inman served in the U.S. Army from 1951 to 53. The Galena, Kansas native was stationed in Germany. We salute Sergeant Samuel Inman, tonight's four-state hero. Microsoft warns Russian hackers have targeted more than 150 agencies this week in another major cyber attack. The tech giant says the group Nobelium gained access to nearly 3,000 email accounts after sending phishing emails that appeared legit. A chunk of the victims were in the U.S. and tied to humanitarian organizations. The same hackers are believed to be behind last year's SolarWinds cyber attack. Well, a new type of wind turbine could revolutionize how we power our homes while solving a lot of the issues of traditional windmills. As reporter Ian Lee explains, the inspiration for the design came from an unusual place.
At first glance, it might be hard to see how this wind turbine works. There aren't any blades and nothing spins. But that's the point and could revolutionize the industry. It's very similar to other wind turbines, says David Yanez. The Spanish engineer designed the new oscillating turbine to shake back and forth instead of spinning. His prototype eliminates a lot of the complaints of traditional windmills. They're quieter, smaller, and a lot cheaper. Because they need little maintenance or oil, he says, this idea is useful to produce energy close to the point of consumption, like your backyard. And the inspiration for his design comes from an unlikely place.
Completed in 1940.
In 1940, the Tacoma Narrows Bridge in Washington became a wonder for the way it swayed in the wind. Nicknamed Galloping Gertie, the bridge eventually collapsed. Yanez says his turbines are built to last. Because of the advanced technology, they don't have elements that can rust by humidity or salt. Another big winner could be wildlife. It's estimated current wind turbines kill more than 1 million birds every year. Yanez is looking for investors to help him get the new turbines on the market in 12 to 18 months. Ian Lee, CBS News.
The company behind the new turbine says they will also be especially useful in remote areas that need power but are hard to reach. We've got a final check of your forecast next. The CBS Evening News is next. Then on KOAM News at 6, authorities file charges in connection with the shooting death of an Anderson, Missouri man. Plus, we'll hear more about how yesterday's storms have impacted area campgrounds ahead of the holiday weekend. And nearly 80 years after his death at Pearl Harbor, the remains of Navy veteran and Fort Scott, Kansas native William Barnett are home. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then the KOAM News at 6. Archaeologists have discovered more than 1,000 pieces of relics, including a 3,000-year-old gold mask at 6 newly unearthed sacrificial pits in China. The mask still has the outline of its ears and mouth intact. Some of the other relics unearthed include sacred trees, gold artifacts, and copper masks in a nearly 20-centimeter thick layer of ash. The site was accidentally discovered back in the 1920s by a farmer when he was digging a ditch. And given all the rain we saw, some of the things that might have been carried away, you might be able to unearth a few relics of your own in some of the flooded areas.
Yeah, it's still pretty wet out there, and it's going to stay that way over the next couple days. But at least from the sky, we are drying out. So we're going to be dry tonight. Tomorrow's going to be dry. Few showers may sneak in late on Sunday, but better chances for showers and thunderstorms Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. But most of the weekend looks pretty good, just kind of chilly.
All right, Doug, thank you. And thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. Of course, we'll be back here for the KOAM News at 6. And thanks for making us part of your night.